The desk of Ask Adam. Hey, one of the questions that was posed to me, I guess it was this week, maybe last week, probably should start writing these down, was why does the housing market feel like it's still kind of stuck in the mud? Really great question, and would love to share a little bit of my insight as to why that is. First of all, you pretty much have this mesh of a few generations, at least two, that have experienced housing on a pretty unique level. Let's go back briefly to a little quick history. Around 1941-42, as the World War II was coming to a conclusion, we had soldiers coming back to the country, starting families, families that had already been started prior to them leaving, in fact, or they were beginning families and building that or buying that modest house, moving into it, and going to work. Basically, the Industrial Revolution began. Let's forward a little bit. Now you've got a populace of people that watched maybe their selves go through foreclosure and hardship based on financial whatever, the list goes on, that pretty much lost what they worked so hard for. Second of all, you have a generation behind that, which is the children of those parents that lost said homes, and that's left a pretty good scar. So individuals that have worked very hard and got back into place of owning a home certainly don't want to risk it by chasing shiny objects and moving to the next biggest home, as kind of the American dream was always planned. Buy a home, a couple of years, get a bigger home, and follow that equity ladder. Unfortunately, they're stuck. They're not wanting to take that risk of moving unless there's something solid like a purchase offer and that they're getting a good deal. Certainly not going to overpay for the next home just to get it. They've learned that lesson. Back to the second generation that watched their parents possibly go through a foreclosure issue, they're not really excited about locking themselves into a quote unquote address to be in a 15 to 30 year mortgage with a residence. They like the flexibility of renting, and therefore, hey, when they're done, they don't have to renew and they can move on. And quite frankly, nobody's going to come take it away from them as long as they're paying the monthly fee, which is the rent and maybe some maintenance fees. So it's kind of really changed a little bit of how we look at real estate. It used to be a pretty solid investment in a way and a place to grow your family, and now it's become just a place to lay your head. Again, you've got people that don't want to move and a populace of people that want to come to a specific area and move in. Not much available, and then you have an abundant amount of not only people that were foreclosed on still repairing their lives that are renting, but then you've got this influx of millennials that honestly don't see the issue to be locked down. They don't see the dream. The dream is to travel the world and see the sights rather than get tied down with a mortgage that quite honestly could get taken away. At least that's their mindset. That's what I've discovered from speaking to many individuals that have been in this position, and just generally asked them, hey, why do you do this? To gain some insight into their head. I hope this answers a few of your questions, and if you do have one that comes to your mind, be sure to ask. And for all things real estate, ask Adam.